Hello and welcome to today's video. If you are a developer working with Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central or someone interested in building and submitting extensions for AppSource, you are in the right place. In this session, we will walk you through the key steps and guidelines you must follow to successfully develop, test and submit your Business Central extension for validation. Whether you are new to the process or looking for a refresher, I will cover everything from setting up your project in Visual Studio Code to preparing the app.json file, ensuring your extension passes all the necessary requirements. This specific macro, which I have specifically developed for the developers and those who are looking to submit your extension in the AppSource. So this extension will definitely help you to ensure that all the important important requirements have been satisfied. And I'll be just walking you through the each and every point here. So here there are 22 checklists, 22 points which are really required from Microsoft if you're planning to upload it in the App Store. Okay, so let us take a situation. ABC Limited has developed a new extension for Dynamics 365 Business Central called Inventory Insights Pro. This app allows businesses to better manage inventory by providing advanced analytics and automated rendering suggestions. The development team has completed building the app, including features like custom tables, reports, and integrations with third-party services. What is the objective? So the company wants to make the app available to a wider audience by listing it on Microsoft AppSource, so other Business Central users can find, try, and purchase the app. So for that, if you wanted to upload it into the AppSource, you have some specific checklist which is provided by Microsoft itself. So you can find the checklist in this particular documentation. Okay, so for your convenience, I have converted this into a proper checklist like format here. Okay, so this is a macro file. If you wanted to get this macro file, you can find it here in my ebook store. You can get it. This is the one. Okay, AppSource Ready Business Central. Or else, if you are from an international buyer, you can get it from here. Or else, if you are from India, you can get it in my InstaMojo place. Okay, InstaMojo digital bookstore. So I'll be leaving both the links in the comment section, so you can go and check that. So let's go and see what are these. Here you can find there are 22 requirements to be satisfied. Okay, and also you have some technical validation performed by the Business Central services. So for these both checklist, I have prepared this. This is a technical validation checklist. Okay, and this is a Business Central validation checklist. So if you click on this technical validation checklist, it will take you to this particular checklist. Okay, so if you select, for example, these are the 22 requirements which we'll be discussing now. Okay, for example, if you have only satisfied any randomly one or two, okay, and if you are trying to see whether you are ready to go, whether you are ready to publish this extension, if you click publish extension, it will tell you that please complete all the checklist. Okay, you have completed only 4 out of 22 items only. Okay, so which means that it is telling you the warning, and you can see that these 4 you have completed, and these are the other checklists which you have to do it. Okay, so only if you have completed all the checklist, then it will show you that you are good to go. Okay, here it is just to ensure that you are following all the required checklist to be completed. All the requirement has been completed. Okay, nothing more than that. And you can just go back to the home page, and you can see there are nearly 10 checklist for the Business Central service validation. So even here you have to follow all these things. If you haven't completed all these 10 requirements, it will definitely tell you that you haven't completed all these things. Okay, so let's just go back and understand each and every requirement step by step. So the first one is develop your extension in Visual Studio Code. All Business Central extensions must be developed using Visual Studio Code with the AL language extension. Okay, so developing the extension for inventory management, that is what the scenario which I have explained initially. You have to develop it using AL language with functionalities like table creation and even subscribers, and you can set up your development environment property with Visual Studio Code and install the AL language extension to begin coding. And the next important thing, thing is what include mandatory properties in app.json, who is the publisher and version. So app.json is the configuration file which is critical component of any extension and must include required properties like name, publisher and version. You have to set the name like Inventory Insights Pro. What is the name of your extension? Publisher, ABC company, or what is the publisher name? And the version, what is the version? So ensure that the properties match exactly with the offer description in AppSource. It also handles dependencies and multiple region support. And third one is what follow the specific date format, that is YYYY, year, month, date. So dates in AL must follow the standard format, which is no longer region specific. Okay, so maybe in your region you may be following month, day and year. Maybe in some other region they'll be following day, month and year. But as far as if you are planning to publish it in the AppSource, you should ensure that it is year, month, date and following with the D. So this ensures the consistency across different regions and environments. The next comes your HTTP or HTTPS for remote services. So what is this? You can use either HTTP or HTTPS for web service calls, but HTTP is only allowed via the HTTP request AL type. For secure communication, it's recommended to use HTTPS whenever possible to protect data transmission. So we have covered almost 4 points, right? Let us just go ahead and talk about the fifth point. So the fourth point is what control add-in support. Okay, so this is what we have. Sorry, this is the fifth point, is what the control add-in support. Only JavaScript based web app client add-ins are supported in the Business Central. Develop a JavaScript based chart control add-in and include the new AL control add-in type. So the compiler will automatically handle the zipping process, ensure JavaScript files are properly referenced. And next comes your digital sign in the app file. Okay, digitally signed. So your app, that is file must be digitally signed before submission to ensure its authenticity. Use a valid certificate to sign the .app package, which is crucial for Microsoft validation. And next comes your set application areas for controls. So application areas determine the visibility of your control. You don't set it if your controls won't appear in the UI. So set application area is equal to all to ensure that users in all application areas can see the control. So make sure all controls have the appropriate applications are specified. And next comes your permission set. You must create permission set for your extension. Users should be able to use the extension without needing super permission. So create a permission set that gives user full access to your inventory extension setup without requiring administrator level permission. Properly export the test and permission sets in a different user roles to ensure proper functionality. So next comes ensure the extensions can be published, synchronized, installed, uninstalled and everything. Okay, so you have to thoroughly test your extension in a Business Central environment before submission. Test various scenarios like installing, uninstalling and upgrading avoiding the issues during submission. And the next one, that is the 10th one, is what thoroughly test the extension in Dynamics 365 Business Central environment. So you should be very careful in order to test your Business Central environment. Okay, and don't use on before company open or an after company open. So these are the triggers, okay, which are no longer supported and can cause issues. So replace them with an alternative events to ensure smooth app extension. And the 11th is what include proper upgrade code. Include upgrade code to ensure a smooth transition when updating the app from one version to another version. For example, handle the changes in the data model by writing AL upgrade scripts that adjust old records to fit new tables or fields. When exposing pages to the code units, as web services, ensure that no UI components generate errors during service calls. So you have to ensure pages exposed to web services don't have modal dialogues or UI elements that block execution. Register and use affixes for your publisher name. So you are required to register an affix, prefix or suffix, for your publisher name, which should be used in the extension. Use the prefix like INN for all the object name in your extension. I think you are clear. So the prefix will help you to identify that, and this helps avoid object ID collisions with other apps as well. So why I told INN? Because we are developing inventory invoice, right? Something. So INN. So that is what the affix or suffix or prefix they are talking about. And next to talk about is with the register and use an ID range for your publisher name. You need it to register an object ID range for your extension. This is important to avoid ID conflicts with other extensions in the Business Central. And then you have to set data classification for table extensions and fields. So this is also an important thing, and use profile object to add the profiles. So the data classification here, so let us just talk about the data classification. Is every field in your table and the table extension must be classified under data classification. Set the fields to be classified or other relevant classifications for the customer content. This will ensure compliance with data privacy regulation, especially for sensitive data. And next comes your profile object and add profiles. So use the profile object to add profiles to Business Central instead of modifying the profiles table directly. This keeps the app future-proof against changes in the Business Central. And you have use add first, add last for placing actions in Business Central pages. So use add first and add last to place your actions. This avoids breaking your app if core Business Central actions change. So this ensures your app adopts to future updates in the platform without breaking functionality. Ensure that extension is not a runtime package. So the extension must not be submitted as a runtime package. Always submit the complete .app code, app package. Use translation files. The extension must include translation files for localization. So you have to prepare .xlf files for different languages to support multi-region deployments. And next comes, you have to specify the application manifest property. The application manifest property is required to define the minimum Business Central release your app support. So the property helps ensure that your app runs on specific version of the Business Central. And finally, it comes like use a unique app ID for the extension. Each extension must have a unique app ID for the identification. So avoid using the same app ID for both PTE, that is per tenant extension, and AppSource. So by following these guidelines, you ensure that you're fully compliant with Microsoft's requirement, making the submission process smoother and increasing your app's chances of getting listed on AppSources. So yes, that's all for today's video. If you have any specific question, or if you feel like you want to understand each and every checklist point with a detailed understanding or anything related to this, please let me know. Just comment. I will be happy to help you out. And if you want to get this particular checklist, you can get it from here. And if you have any specific questions, if you need any personal guidance, you can just connect with me. The link is there in the description. Thank you so much. I hope you all got some idea about what are the various checklists to publish that AppSource, publish your extension in the AppSource. I'll meet you soon with the next exciting video. Thank you. Take care and bye-bye.